Okay, we're going to do a real quick summary of scaling. Just a quick summary of scaling. Scaling is when you are multiplying to increase or decrease. Okay, so to increase or decrease a shape. When you're increasing, you're multiplying by a number greater than 1. Okay, so greater than 1. And when you're decreasing, you're multiplying by a number less than 1, also known as a fraction. Okay, so multiply to increase or decrease, greater than 1, less than 1. All right, so we're going to do a quick little draw. I'm going to draw a 4 by 3 rectangle, 4 by 3. And I'm going to draw a scale copy of this, 6 by 4.5. So the scale copy, there is a relationship between these two shapes. I am increasing the shape. So I know that I have a number greater than 1. So I'm going from 4 to 6. So 4 times something is equal to 6. Now, one way that we can do this is we can think about it like this. 6 divided by 4 is equal to something. Okay, so we can do the inverse to help us figure out what the scale factor is. Okay, what is the scale factor? So again, you can use a calculator or you can do good old-fashioned division. Either way would work. Okay, I'm going to use a calculator just because I like showing you calculating. We're going to work both with the calculator and not the calculator. All right, so if I have a 6 and I want to divide that by 4, I have 1.5. Okay, so I know my scale factor is 1.5. 1.5 can be written a lot of different ways. 1.5 or 3 over 2. So just know that these can also be written other ways. This is a fraction greater than 1. This is a decimal. This is a fraction greater than 1. Okay? All right, so anyway, you can write that. All right, so what about this? So is 3 times 1.5 4.5. 3 over 1 times 3 over 2 is equal to 9 over 2, which is equal to 4 and 1/2. So yes, it checks out. All right, that's my scale factor. Now, scale factors can also work backwards. So we can go times 1.5. If I want to go from large to small, okay, so this is from small to large. If I want to go large to small, I just do the inverse or the opposite, okay? I know I'm going to multiply by the opposite, the reciprocal, okay, or the opposite. And we can check it and double check. So I'm going to start with 6. So I'm going to go 6 times 2/3. 6 times 2 is 12. 1 times 3 is 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. Check. Okay? All right. So let's talk a little bit about area and perimeter. Okay? We're going to do the perimeter. The perimeter, 4, 3, 4, 3. Okay. Okay, so 4 plus 4 is 8. 3 plus 3, oh, silly. That's not right. 6. That would be 14. All right, try that again, right? All right, now, what about this one? Perimeter would be 6 plus 6 plus 4.5 plus 4.5. So that would be 12 plus 9, which is 21. Okay, 21. Notice the perimeter times 1.5 is 21. So what's the scale factor? The scale factor is 1.5. So let's test it out. Let's see. 14 times 1.5 is 21. Check. Okay? All right, so perimeter follows the same scale factor. But what about area? What about area? Area is a little different. Area. 3 times 4 is 12. The area of this shape is 6 times 4.5, which is 6 times 4.5 is 27. Oof. 12 times 2 is not 27. So area is a little special. Area is unique. Area does not use the scale factor. Area uses the scale factor squared to the second power. So what's our scale factor? 1.5 squared. That's 1.5 times 1.5, which is 1.5 times 1.5 and 2.25. So let's test and see if 12 times 2.25 equals 27. Let's see. 12 times 2.25, check. Bing, bing. So area is always the scale factor squared. Okay? It's always the scale factor squared. So you just want to be on the lookout for that with area and perimeter. Okay? Now, one last thing, and I don't have a really good shape for this because it's obvious, but the angles never change. That's let me put that in like a totally different color. Let's use this one. Actually, I'd run out of colors here. Let's use this one. Angles never change when you enlarge or when you scale, okay? So if you do have different angles, you know you did something wrong. Angles never change. This is a 90-degree angle. 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 And it would work for any shape, not just rectangles, okay? So angles never change. That's a big one. All right. One last thing before we go. I just want to review this. We did this earlier. This is another great visual. When you are scaling to make something from the original size and shrink it, your scale that you use, the further these two numbers away are, the smaller your image. 1 to 10 is closer, bigger, closer, bigger. So we can look at it as a fraction. 1 out of 20 is smaller, okay? It's smaller than 1/10. And 1/10 is smaller than 1/5. So the scale, the closer these two numbers get to a 1-to-1 ratio, the larger the scale. Okay?